Yesterday we started solving equations, and we solved our equations with manipulatives, and we're going to practice that some more today so we make sure we're really good at it before we move on to solving without manipulatives. So let's get started. I'm just going to do a quick review again of how to solve equations with manipulatives. I know that the people at home don't have cups. If you had cups at home, you may have used them. If you didn't, you can draw squares and just distribute your counters into your squares. So I will model for you how to do that with squares. So let's say we have 3c minus 4 equals 8. So if I were at home and I didn't have my cups, I would draw squares for the 3c. 1, 2, 3. So that would be my variable. And then I would model negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would model positive 8, which would be 8 yellow counters. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and the first thing I would need to do is check my model, because if my model is not correct, then my answer won't be correct. So I have 3 variables. I have negative 4, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, so I do have positive 8. So the first thing I need to see is I need to get my variable by itself. So I have to get rid of this negative 4 first. So the way to get rid of my negative 4 is to add its additive inverse, which is positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yesterday in class, I noticed that some people were trying to add positive 4 and then take this away. And then they were lost over here. So we fixed that. As soon as you add positive 4 here, automatically add that same positive 4 here. Don't try to do it separately, because you'll get confused and not realize what you need to put over there. So now we have our positive 4 here, and we have also added positive 4 here. Now we can take away our additive inverses, or another word is zero pairs. 0 pairs and additive inverse is the same thing. So I'm going to remove my 0 pairs, or my additive inverses, same thing. And now I have my variables by themselves over here, and I have across the equal sign, I have positive 12. So now I need to distribute these positive counters into these variables. And if you have cups, these will be your cups. So do them one at a time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we don't need to know how many are in all of the cups. We just need to know how many are in one of the cups. So how many are in one of the cups? Positive 4. So here, your 1C, C equals positive 4. So we can check our answer by putting it in this equation and seeing if it works. So whatever your coefficient is, you're going to multiply times whatever C is. And we just figured out that C is equal to positive 4. So we would say 3 times 4, and then bring the rest of it down. And let's see if that works out. So 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 minus 4 is equal to positive 8. So my answers are the same, which means that C is equal to 4. So that is my answer. Let's try another one. This time I'm going to use the cups. So let's say I have 6F minus 1 is equal to 11. And I want you to notice how spread out I have it. So if you're using your whiteboard at home, try to fill up the whole top because you're going to need room for this. So if we have 6F, that means I have 6 cups. Or if you're drawing, you need 6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have a negative 1, which means I need a negative 1. And I have a positive 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So first I need to check my model. 6F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have 6 cups. Do I have a negative 1? I do. And do I have a positive 11? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I do have a positive 11. So I am ready to move on. So the first thing I need to do is get my variable by itself. So to get rid of this 1, I need to add its additive inverse, which is a positive 1. And as soon as I do that, I need to put a positive 1 on this side also. So now I need to look and see, do I have any 0 pairs? I do. I have this 0 pair here, so I'm going to remove it. And now I am left with only variables on this side and only positive chips on this side. So now I can distribute them into the cups evenly, one at a time. I'm making note that they are yellow, so that means that I will have a positive answer. It's very important that you make note of the color before you put them in the cup because sometimes they bounce and get the wrong color. Okay, so I don't need to know how many are in all the cups. I only need to know how many are in one cup. So one cup is positive 2. So this tells me that 1F, is equal to positive 2. So let's put that into our equation and see if it works. So I would say 6 times 2, and then bring down the rest of the equation. So 6 times 2 is 12, minus 1 is equal to positive 11. So my answers are the same, which means I am correct. Okay, I'm going to dump all my cups out so I can do another one. And then I'm going to let you get started on your little activity that I gave you today. It is a pixel art activity. You can use your cups and chips to find the answer. And as you type in the answer, it's going to make a picture. And it's a Thanksgiving picture. Let's try 4E plus 4 equals 12. And I'm going to spread it out. Okay, so I see I have 4E, so that means I need 4 cups. 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 cups. I have a positive 4. And I have a positive 12. And it's easier to work with if you line them up and you don't just kind of put a pile over here because it can get confusing by counting them if they're not lined up. Okay, the first thing I always do is check my model. Do I have 4 variables? Yes. Do I have positive 4? Yes. And do I have positive 12? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I do. So my model is correct. So now I can get started. I need to get my variables by themselves. So I'm going to put the additive inverse of positive 4, which is negative 4. Remember, additive inverse means to add the opposite. So I added negative 4 here. So I'm also going to add negative 4 here. Okay, so now I see that I have 0 pairs. So I'm going to remove them. And I see that I also have 0 pairs on this side, so they are removed also. Now I am left with only variables here on this side and only counters on this side. So I'm going to distribute them one at a time into the cups, and I want to make note that they are positive, so my answer will be positive. Uh-oh, that one bounced out. Okay, now I can remove 3 of my cups, and I see that in 1 cup, which would be 1E, is equal to, they were yellow when we put them in, so it's positive 2. So E equals positive 2. So let's plug that in. So 4 times 2 plus 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 4 is equal to positive 12. So I know that my answer is correct. Let's do one more, and then I will let you get started on your activity. Okay, let me find one that's not equal to 2. I have written down a bunch of problems that are equal to 2. I'm trying to find one that's not equal to 2. Oh, here's one. I think we've already done that one, though. Let's see. Here's one. 2A plus 6 is equal to negative 2. Okay, so I have my variable is 2A, so I need 2 cups. We have positive 6. And we have negative 2. Okay, so first check our model. I have 2A, that's correct. I have 2, 4, 6 positives, that's correct. And I have 2 negatives, that's correct. So the first thing I need to do is get my variables by themselves. So I need to add the additive inverse, or add the opposite is what that means. So I need 2, 4, 6. And while I'm doing that, I need to go ahead and add negative 6 to this side. 2, 4, 6. And I'm going to line them up so it's easier to see. Okay, I see that I have 0 pairs, so I'm going to remove them. And now I'm left with only variables and only red counters. So now I can divide these red counters into each cup, and I'm noting that they are red, so my answer is negative. Okay, now I can remove one of my cups, and I can see how many 1A is equal to. 1A is equal to negative 4. So A equals negative 4. Let's plug that in and see if it works. 2 times negative 4 plus 6. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. I add 6. My signs are different, which means I need to subtract, and I will get 2, and I keep the sign of the largest absolute value, which is negative 2. So my answers do match, and my A is equal to negative 4. Okay, I'm going to let you get started on your activity for today. Good luck with that, and don't forget to turn it in. Have a great day.